Hi everyone. Welcome to PA117, your Law and Ethics course for pharmacy technicians. My name is Sarah Davis and I will be your instructor for the next 10 weeks. So each week you will have a PowerPoint available to you under the instructor materials section, as well as a video from me kind of going over things, explaining things that I think you may have difficulty with, or even just pointing out some highlights. A lot of what we're going to be talking about in this particular book is going to be kind of, examples, what would you do and that type of thing. You'll find that especially when you get into the discussions. And on that note, I just want to remind everyone that each week you're going to be required to post in the discussion board by Wednesday. That post should be at least 200 words and address the topic that's in the prompt. And then you'll need to reply to at least 2 people by Sunday. So a total of 3 posts. Responding to me does count. Those responses need to all be about 50 words. So not quite as long as your initial post, but you do need to make sure that you, do have something lengthy and not just I agree or I disagree or something like that. In addition, each week you'll have an assignment and you will have a quiz over the material from the syllabus. So as you go through and review the syllabus and you review the material, if you're unsure of something, please make sure you reach out and let me know. One reminder, the discussion posts always close on Sunday. So once they're gone, they're gone. I cannot reopen those. There's no one left to talk to. So make sure that you are not late in getting any of those things in. If you're not able to make the deadlines for assignments or quizzes, please make sure you're communicating with me about that and we can make arrangements if needed. Again, we want to make sure that we keep up to date as much as possible. So I don't want you to get far behind so that you, struggle near the end of the course. So this week we're covering Chapter 1. Chapter 1 is just the introduction to law. So it's going to kind of go through and talk about, what exactly is law. Law is, as most of us think, all of those different rules that govern us, whether it's us as people, whether it's our behaviors, our relationships, how we act with others, all of those things are what we think of when we think of law. And the idea behind law is it's going to provide some sort of order. We want to make sure that we have order and that people are protected, their actual rights as well as their persons. And every time we have a law, there's going to be growing pains, right? There's going to be changes that are going to need to happen. So things are going to be constantly evolving in the field of law. So it's very important that you understand that. Public law is the law that governs conflict between a private party and the government. So it defines those appropriate behaviors between those two groups. And the primary sources of public law are constitutions, like our U.S. Constitution, regulations, statutes, and then different decisions that have been made by different administrative and judicial bodies, whether that be at the federal level, the state level, county level, whatever. Now, when we talk about criminal law is concerned with violations against society, based on criminal statutes. So obviously, if you commit some sort of a felony, in a lot of states, that's grounds for revoking a license to practice in the healthcare field. So, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a felony related to, in our case, pharmacy. So make sure that you understand that those things are out there and in place. And if that is a issue or a problem or anything like that you can risk losing your license. So this, like I said, this is going to go on and discuss in this chapter what private law is, what civil law is, what tort law and contract law is, and how all of those different things fit together. Now, the one thing that I do want to make sure to point out to you is that when we have a federal law and a state law, and there's a difference between the two, whichever one is basically the most strict is the one that has to be followed. Okay, so keep that in mind. It's kind of like going to ask mom and dad if you can do something, right? You're gonna go for the one who's not strict, right? But ultimately the one who is the most strict is the one you have to follow. So just kind of keep that in mind as you go through this week. If you have any problems or questions, please make sure that you're reaching out to me during the week, and have a great week.